All right, so in these last three slides, we're going to just be talking through a scenario, which unfortunately is a common scenario that a lot of our students face. And so I just ask you to be reflective and maybe trying to place some of this narrative and map it onto some of your own either experiences you've heard of from your students, right? And just be figuring out ways this applies, doesn't apply, and how we can use it to shape or inform instruction or practice or just being in relationship. So we're going to be talking about occupational downgrading, and it happens when immigrants hold lower level jobs upon migration than their last occupations from their countries of origin. So our first case study is Daniela. She is 43 years old, arrived in the United States 5 years ago from Cuba. She holds a master's degree in chemistry education and worked as a chemist in her country prior to immigration. However, she has not been able to find a job that matches her qualifications. At present, she works cleaning offices during the day while attending an ESL class in the evenings. She's frustrated with her present job situation because she knows she can do more than being a cleaner. She is determined to eventually get a profession similar to what she held in Cuba. So, and then this is the article that this is from. It's a good read, and I can try and provide a link to it in the video description because it's a pretty short read. So some of the questions we talked through. So what is Daniela's goal here? What are some motivations that are driving her? And then just brainstorm. It doesn't necessarily have to come from evidence in the text. You can extrapolate and maybe bring in similar situations, right? So the goal is to stretch in empathy and perspective taking. What are some perceptions Daniela now has to contend with? How has her self-perception changed? And do you think she is aware of how people around her see her? So then the next slide is, we just talked through some of these as a group, but this is a list of other participants in the study. And so their pseudonyms, country of origin, and I know you can rate this yourself, but their age, how many years they've been in the US, the level of education they have, their profession back in their country of origin, and then what they do now. A lot of them do multiple things. And so, if I remember correctly from the article, one of the older women had talked about how she's not actually actively trying to get back to her old profession. She sees the multiple jobs she works as the way she can serve her family in providing her children with a stable base as they grow up and kind of seek their own paths. So using the principles of what we've covered, that is andragogy adult learning, come up with an activity or assignment for your student. That is, like, pretend one of these is your tutoring student or student in your class, right, who needs who you're working with, and be able to share why you made the decisions you did. This could be as simple as writing a prompt, coming up with a field trip or related movie or book you would read together. One thing people had talked about is having, someone teach a lesson, right, who is proficient in English or, is experienced in language teaching. But yeah, ways we can kind of bring in those funds of knowledge practically. And so this is just meant to help you think more and be aware of student backgrounds, but also see how it's, one, can be an instructional tool, but two, just keeping in mind that resilience mindset that we try to approach these situations with, right? Not focusing on loss and negativity, but what people come to the table with, which is a big principle of andragogy. So thank you. And also let me know if you have any future topics for training sessions you'd be interested in learning more about. Just shoot me an email. I've enjoyed putting these presentations and research together for you guys. So thank you. And next up we have language acquisition. So